Hey, what's going on out there, man? It's part three, part three. If y'all been looking at the Legacy Locker Room podcast, y'all will know this is part three for me, part two for me and Chris together. We breaking down the Legacy Locker Room podcast with Harry Douglas, Roddy White, and Julio Jones, three Atlanta Falcon legends at the wide receiver position. And today we're just gonna briefly talk about Julio said his most terrible moment was being traded from the Falcons,
Mm-hmm.
and we also talk about the Shannon Sharp incident. Was it a mistake, or was it coerced, or was it just how he really felt? And if
Mm.
you listen to the terrible part of the terrible comment about leaving Atlanta, it makes you think he was just ambushed and he wasn't ready
Man,
for it. And you just got to be careful when you're talking on the phone, man.
we say that all the
You got
time.
to be aware of what's going on the other end of the phone because sometimes y'all know about them three-way calls. Sometimes them three-way calls get you in trouble. But look, we're gonna get into that, man. But before we do, man, you know what to do.
Hey man, how y'all doing, everybody? You know what it is. You know what time it is. Come on in, take off your shoes, leave on your socks. We're gonna definitely get into this report. Julio Jones. Telling it all. Yesterday, you had Roddy telling some things about the Shanahan experience, and some things we knew about. Some things we knew is just was confirming. So now it's Julio's turn, and very interesting podcast. If you guys haven't checked out the podcast by now, somewhere, somehow, then I feel like you need to go check it out. I'm saying there's some good stuff. They give us some juicy details, early on. So, definitely got to check it out, man. But can't wait to get
Facts.
into this, man.
Jay Black was good, my dude. Larry, what it do?
Dude,
But
family.
if y'all notice something different on StreamYard, y'all get to see yourself on the screen, man, because they added that feature.
Yeah,
And
it's there.
y'all become more of the show.
Yeah,
Cause now
man.
we won't have to worry about missing no comments. Everything that y'all say is gonna pop up right on the screen.
Right.
But Jay said Julio should have never trusted Unc Shay. Shay is all Hollywood now, has been for a while. Sorry to say. Jay Black, I agree with that
Don't be
100%.
sorry. Can't be. Don't be
Robert,
sorry. I mean, that's your
right,
opinion. So you deserve to have that.
right.
Robert Blackman, how you feeling?
Yeah, everybody, yeah, you right, man. Cause anybody do something for $1, man, do something strange for some change. We
Just
already know
saying.
about that part. But yeah, man, let's get into this right quick so we can go on and knock it out. But shout out to Bro Talk, man. I got this off his Twitter, and he keeps us updated. So
Oh
shout
yeah,
out to
he
him,
keeping
man.
up with it for sure. Kev
King
keeping
Richard
up.
was good, my dude.
What to do,
Yeah,
King
man.
Rich?
Let's get into it right quick. It's gonna be like a 30-second clip. So we're gonna pause it at one point,
Hmm.
talk about it, extensively, then the other little 5 to 6 seconds. We're gonna get y'all opinion.
That was your greatest moment as Atlanta Falcon
Yeah.
in 2016 season, Super Bowl, that whole nine.
hmm
What would you say was your least favorite moment?
My least favorite, no doubt about it, the trade. Me leaving Atlanta.
2021.
Absolutely terrible.
Let me ask you this because I always wanted this.
hmm
When Shannon Sharp called,
We're gonna hold off
Oh,
that part.
boy.
But he says the most terrible moment to him was being traded from Atlanta. And I can understand why he feel that way. If you look at the the time he put in the city, the numbers he's put up, you look at over 800 catches, 848 to be exact, over 10,000 yards,
Hmm.
60 touchdowns. And I just signed a $366 million deal the year before.
Right,
I would have felt terrible too because I have ties to the city. And I'm
right,
not trying to be funny. We all know the Migos doing his boys. They always hung
right.
together. So he has ties to the city. Another thing, it's closer
Other
to home.
athletes as well. Other
Right.
athletes in Atlanta as well.
Right. It's closer to home. He's from Alabama. So it's just a short ride to Alabama. His family is probably still in Alabama. So
Hmm.
having to move to Tennessee which is not too far from Alabama, but the drive is a little bit longer. But
And
you
you
just
don't
think
know them
about
folks like that. Let's just keep it real. You don't know
exactly,
them folks
exactly,
like that. You know the people
exactly.
of Atlanta. And Jay Black, yeah, no, I'm with you, brother. That's why I was saying it's no disrespect to what you were saying. You have the right to have that opinion, and some people do change for Hollywood. I'm not going to say whether Shannon has or has not. I'm gonna keep my own feelings to myself. But yeah, it happens like that though. It does for some people. Like you're absolutely correct. It happens like that.
And honestly, you got to think too. He's going to talk about it. Um, when they lost that Super Bowl and people were blaming Dan Quinn, it wasn't all Dan Quinn's fault. It was partly Dan Quinn's fault, partly Kyle Shanahan's fault. But at the same time, the players on the field, they weren't getting the job done. And if you're not on the field, not getting the job done, guess what? You're gonna lose the game. But again, terrible feeling to leave a city that you built your legacy and then have to go somewhere else to start over fresh with a new quarterback, new system, new scheme. And he fit here in Atlanta perfectly because of the culture, because of what he built as a player, the fan base, the community work. It's just everything that you can name, he did it in Atlanta. So I can understand why he felt terrible. But why do you feel like it was a terrible feeling in your opinion? Because I know where he's coming from. Because it's just like moving and starting over again at a new job. So I get it.
No, for sure. Because we've all done that. We've all had to move on from one job to another, and sometimes that is a quite an adjustment. And life comes at you fast, and you got to be able to adjust and move differently. So when it comes to that, I believe him, man. I think it was. I think he didn't want to leave Atlanta, but of course, other circumstances happen that will make you think differently. I ain't gonna lie about that, but
and we're gonna get right into that in a minute.
yeah,
But
man.
go ahead.
We are. But at the same time, it's just like you build your legacy here. Like I said, we've already gone through that. So it just do I really feel like he really, wanted to stay in Atlanta? It's hard for a piece of me not to say yes. And that may be just the fan in me, just the Falcon in me, maybe just maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Who
What's
knows?
up, Coop?
What it do, Coop? How you feeling? And everything, but yeah, maybe I'm giving him too much credit. I don't know, but it's just a small piece of me do believe that Julio did feel terrible leaving Atlanta just because, again, you got to uproot everything that you've built, Yep. So, what I'm saying?
And you got to think about it too.
Philadelphia.
You got to think about it too. He had been playing with an MVP caliber quarterback. You go from that to Ryan Tannehill. I think Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback then, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But if you go from Matt Ryan to Ryan Tannehill, you'll be disappointed too. But another thing with that too, you got to blame him as far as relationships. Part of the reason why he went to Tennessee with Derrick Henry. Yeah, his relationship with Derrick Henry, he thought it was going to be peaches and cream. But at the end of the day, like I said, you got to get used to a new system and not being the man. See, in Tennessee, Derrick Henry was the man. So, yeah, you probably would have been the man at wide receiver had it been 3 or 4 years prior to when you left because you were still in your prime. But when you left Atlanta the last season, I feel like
that was
you was on the back end of your prime. And the injuries and things had probably caught up to a certain extent. And you saw it the last couple of years. So yeah, so I get it, why he didn't want to leave, but I also get it as to why they ended up trading him. If he had said, hey, I know I'm one of the better receivers in the league, but had he took the Tom Brady approach and said, hey, let me take a pay cut and see what my fortune's gonna bring me, seeking that help us win a Super Bowl. Because you got to remember, this dude is a business owner. Nobody never talks about it. He owns car dealerships and other things. So he's got money coming in. So, money wasn't the issue. I think the issue was
endorsements, all that stuff.
Yeah, at some point, I think his ego got the best of him because he's seen other receivers getting paid. And he said, I'm better than these receivers. I deserve this much money. And
Well, and
sometimes,
and, and you got to
go
think
ahead.
about this. Hold on, Smith. You got to think about this too. Julio really did started changing, and I knew it. I felt it coming, and you know what I'm saying, one of the greatest receivers to do it. But when he started hanging with T.O., things started changing a bit. I'm not saying that he wasn't already heading that way, but I do feel like my boy T.O. gave him a little nudge and said, you the best in the game, my boy. You know what I'm saying? You can ask for more money. It's okay. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I can't put words in anybody's mouth, and I'm not trying to. But
Yeah,
at the
man.
same time,
Let's be real
I
though.
do think about it.
Let's be real though. The average now for a receiver, now that T. Higgins has got paid, is 23 million.
Bro.
So he was making 22 million. What that's 5 years ago?
Then,
About 5 years ago. Then, so he would probably be in the 30 range. Had he been in his prime right now. So I
oh,
get that part about
he'd have been if
35,
he, yeah, if he
35.
wasn't 35, like imagine if Julio was about to get paid like right now. Julio prime Julio would have eclipsed Justin Jefferson's 35. Julio would have been making about 40.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And then but that's the thing. Sometimes things like that, your ego get inflated. And like you said with T.O., pumping his head up. And don't get me wrong, T.O. one of the best receivers to ever play. But
Yes.
don't give people advice that's going to probably cost them down the road. And I feel like him signing that big contract and then not living up to it, and injury starting to happen, that was a recipe for disaster. Just
It
keep it
just
honest.
it just everything changed then for me, man. Because my thing is, okay, we Falcon fans remember Julio, like our Julio. That man didn't just led by example. He wasn't a rah-rah guy. He just went out there and just dominated the other team's cornerbacks week in and week out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the Julio we knew. But like again, once he started training with T.O. and things like that, started becoming a little bit more vocal. Seems like all of a sudden, oh yeah, I need this, I need this, I need this. And the Falcons organization, to their credit, gave Julio everything he asked for.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, we gave him everything. What it do? We gave
What's
him
up?
everything that he asked for.
Absolutely.
So,
And to me, that's the part that pissed me off the most. You
bro,
got your contract. We know you put up your numbers, and they put their team at a disadvantage because you got to think they had just signed Matt Ryan to a 5-year, $130 million deal, and they just had paid Deion Jones. So those three players right there were taking a good part of the cap. So you couldn't,
right?
build like you wanted to. But now that we have someone in that could work the cap, if Terry Fontenot was here 5 years ago, hey, Julio might have found a way to stay. But right now,
I don't even know if Terry Fontenot gives that contract though. I mean,
a good point.
that's what I'm thinking. I mean, if we're
Good point.
talking about from where he came from and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know if he gives it to him the second go
Good
round.
point.
That's what I'm meaning. So I don't
Excellent
know.
point.
You still had money and years on that deal.
Right.
So I don't know. You might have been traded beforehand. Like I don't know, bro. It's like I
And the
don't
crazy
know.
part about it with Terry Fontenot, we probably could have got a better deal with the trade. But I think Julio wanted to go to Tennessee, would play with Derrick Henry, if I'm not mistaken. May be wrong.
Well, it was
Don't quote me
AJ
on that.
Brown. Remember, it was
Yeah,
AJ
AJ
Brown
Brown.
there at the time, and he
Right.
was tutoring him because he had Julio's number, and that's the reason why he was wearing 11 because of Julio. And remember, he
Right.
went over there and he was rocking like number 2 or
Number
something
two.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
stuff. And he was mentoring him, and then finally they let him go and stuff like that. I still remember. AJ Brown's post talking about don't worry, GOAT, I got you. You know, and I got this. Whoop, whoop, it was crazy. Then his behind ended up leaving Tennessee and ended up winning a Super Bowl. You just got to get out of Tennessee. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the way it is, man, I just felt like it was, I felt terrible too because, I was kind of dumbfounded by the whole thing that it transpired the way it did. And I know they had to get off that
Right.
contract, but I feel like y'all could have reworked it, add some void years, and pay off the back end of the contract. But everything happened the way it did, and like
The
they say,
relationship wasn't intact enough, I don't believe, by that time.
right. So yeah, so the relationship pretty much made the move just a tad bit easier. He felt terrible, we felt terrible. Hey, everything happens for a reason. It was the best thing for both of them.
It's like it was like an old sad love song. You know, it's one of them joints like that where you know both parties going to be hurt afterwards. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
like,
But we ended up taking Kyle Pitts the very next year, and we're gonna get into that at the end of the show. We'll throw that in on the back end of the show. But yeah, man, let's keep this thing going, man. Let's finish this off.
all right.
When Shannon Sharp called you,
Correct.
when he was on the Fox show,
Mhm.
did you know you was on live TV?
No, not.
This is $1 million question. Did he know
Did he know?
that he was being recorded?
Chat,
And
did he know? Did he know? Chat?
I want y'all to chime in, and then we're gonna give our thoughts. But I want y'all to chime in on this too. Did he know? Did he know that he was being recorded? Did he know during that phone call? Everybody knew what he was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think two ways, because think about what Shannon Sharp said as well. He said, "I'm gonna call Julio right now. I approve it." So had he talked to Shannon about that beforehand?
He was very sure of himself too. Now that could be. Now hold on, I will give Julio some grace. You mean Shannon Sharp? Just he could have just been saying acting that way. He could have been like, hey,
trying to prove a point.
Yeah, trying to prove a point. Trying to figure out, who's the bigger ego right here in the room between him and Skip at the time. And he's just like, I'll call him right now. I got his phone number. I'll call him right now here live on television. Say I won't. You call him, okay? And it just kind of went from there. It was like kind of like two guys.
Went left from there.
Yeah, it went left from there.
But I mean, he said he didn't know. I believe him. But you just gotta think of it too as you just gotta watch who you talk to on the other line. And like I said with Shannon, with what Shannon said, it made me believe at first that they talked about it, and he called him probably a day or two after they talked about it, and he brought it up again. And Julio said it like, I told you the first time, I'm out of there. So, it could have came that way as well. But when it comes out of his mouth that he said that he did not know, I got to take his word for it, because they were trying to get ratings. They didn't give a damn about no phone call. They were trying to get ratings because at that point they were falling by the wayside because their ratings were taking a dip. But again, if he says he didn't know, I believe him. I'm gonna take his word for it. Right. But Shannon should have knew better as a former professional athlete. That's just one trust that you don't break. That to me. Yeah. Go ahead.
And the thing about it is, in my heart, I feel like Julio's telling the truth. But in my mind, I'm still thinking. And I'm just like, yeah, why didn't you come out and nip that in the bud about hey, look, guys, the situation is the situation. That's where we at right now. But as far as all that, so was it planned and everything like that? I had no idea that this man was doing that. I had no idea that he was, recording me, any of that mess. And, I just want to apologize to the fans, something like that, something classy. Or like I had said once before, you could have went about it to where you didn't say nothing at all. Hey, Julio, what's going on with you in Atlanta? Y'all good? Well, or what is it? Hey, man, I don't even want to discuss it right now. Some things may be coming down the pipeline, maybe not. It's just, it's a way, we talk about it all the time, just in the world. It's a time and a place for things, and it's a way to say everything. So again, I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm not saying calling the man a liar at all. Like I said, in my heart, I feel like he's telling the truth. But in my mind, I still think about, why you just didn't make it more simple by just doing this or saying that, or, and of course, he don't know, he doesn't have to answer to any one of us. But I still just wonder why, so it just I feel like that's fair to still wonder.
That's fair for you to say that, but I just feel like, it's just that Shannon Sharp put him in a bad predicament. He probably felt like Now I'm gonna be honest with you. If he knew Shannon was on that show and he was
Mhm.
calling him live, he would have never answered the phone.
I
I
don't.
guarantee you
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I
He
don't
would have
think
never
so.
answered the phone. Now, the reason
I
why
was hoping he didn't
uh,
answer the phone, bro. I was watching that show live. I was watching it. I was
I
like,
watched it too. I
bro.
watched
I
it
was
live
like,
too.
bro.
I was
I was
watching it.
like, he is not
Yeah.
about to answer the phone. And when he picked up, I said, oh God, darn it, because I knew
Yeah,
Shannon
but
was
you
fit to
just
be
don't
on the Bobo. I knew Shannon was fit to be on the Bobo.
you yeah. Yeah. So I mean, did he say it? I don't he said he didn't know, but Shannon just put him in a bad spot because just like I said, you got to caution who on the other line.
Right.
I've had many times where I've been on the phone and got that three-way call and somebody else on the other line, I didn't know it, listening. And so you just got to always keep that in the back of your mind. And for future reference, if anybody calls you and they're on the talk show and they're co-host on the show, make sure they're
Be
not on the
careful.
air. Just make sure they're not
Gotta
on
be
the air.
careful. That was because that was a
'Cause,
bold move. Like
that
period.
was that was the ultimate setup,
Yeah.
just to get ratings. So
Yeah, that phone call, man. That it's just at the end of the day, it's quite unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation, and like again, I feel bad for Julio and everything, but the fans is who I feel the worst for. You know what I'm saying?
Coop
Because
said he don't think so. Blue
okay,
Jacket
okay,
for Life said he don't think so.
okay.
Ron
He
said
said,
he knew.
yeah.
Ron said he knew.
Ron said he knew. Willie Doc said he knew.
He knew. LS said if he didn't know, then I think he would have said he didn't publicly and apologize. He knew. Mm,
See what I'm saying?
that's,
It's just like it
that's a
make you
good point.
think, it make you wonder. That's all I was trying to bring to the light before. I don't
King
think he
Richard
knew.
said
He was
I,
just trying to prove
I,
Skip wrong. And I mean,
I
and
can
I
see
agree
it.
with that part too, because like I said, it was two egos in the room, and
Right.
and somebody had to win.
Yeah, he
Shannon
do be
talks
over
too
talking
much
people
anyway.
on it. Yeah, he
Yeah,
do over talk to folks. That's absolutely true. Tay Rush say Ken Folk lying. He didn't sue because that messed up his money. I can see that.
man. Who the new Raymond?
Raymond Collins, what's good, my dude? My boy Willie Dot donating as always. We appreciate the donation, my brother. He said, speaking facts, Chris Julio never got ahead of the PR disaster from Shannon, which is suspicious. He never thanked the Atlanta fans, just by Felicia. That's absolutely true.
I'm just saying, just walk with me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not calling nobody no liar. And again, I will say and reiterate, in my heart, I feel like he's telling the truth. But in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm just wondering. I don't know. I'm just wondering like why you did, because I just think about if that would have happened to me, no matter what my status is, if it ain't true or if it ain't right, I'm gonna clear me no matter what.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe like I said, the Falcon relationship and Julio just was so dismal and just so torn apart, such a rift in the relationship, should I say, that maybe it just was like, hey man, I ain't gotta say nothing. I'm out of here anyway, for real. So I ain't, I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like it could have been handled differently. Maybe we're not even here talking about it. Maybe what I'm saying, like this in the depth, because in my mind, I wonder.
But you gotta think it too. Maybe he didn't try to get out in front of her because he felt like he hadn't done nothing wrong. But we
Yeah,
are as
yeah.
Atlanta fans, we had another opinion of that. So yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, just like
absolutely.
Robert was saying, Skip and Shannon was competing with First Take for views and ratings, and their ratings were down at the time. And after that, people started watching Shannon's show after the Jones interview. Jones!
You stupid.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Will said, man, look, Shannon Sharp getting his karma now.
yeah. I mean, karma mug, you know it.
Hey, I just
You know it.
saying, you can't do folk wrong like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Right is
Thanks.
right and wrong is
Hey,
wrong.
man, my grandparents used to always tell me that you can't do wrong and think you're gonna get by with it. At some
Right.
point, no matter when it is, it's gonna catch you. It can catch you. It can catch you off guard, or it can catch you in stride. Whichever way you want it, you can get it. But karma never misses. Never.
Hmm.
So
That's crazy, man. And the
Yeah.
thing about it is like it was just a terrible divorce really between us. Like I said, it spiraled from that conversation. That thing was live. That thing was honestly, that show was everywhere. Like that clip was everywhere within that first hour, everywhere. It was no platform you couldn't go on and find that within an hour's time. Like,
It went viral just that quick.
you was all first of all, people was already necessarily watching it. Then when that happened, again, just like Robert said earlier, you know, I said them ratings went up. Them things went up. And then, like I said, you seen it plastered everywhere. So no matter wherever a Falcon fan could turn, that's all they saw. There was no way of escaping it unless you just turned off every device, because now here come the articles. Here come the articles. So I mean, even if you're
You
not
know the
watching
media
video,
gonna hype everything up. They gonna hype
right?
everything
You know what
up.
I'm saying. Then if you're not watching videos, you still have articles that are coming out just popping up. You just got to put your phone down, turn off every device if you don't want to see it.
Yeah, LSA should have apologized on the strength of knowing that the moment hurt the fans. They blew Julio Instagram up about the call. Absolutely true.
I'm
Every
just
single
saying, like,
every
why
single
not
social
just
media
take care of
platform.
it? Right? Why just not take care of it? Why just not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's all love. It's all love. But I just was wondering, just why not just take care of it from the beginning? And again, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to overstep no bounds, thinking that I'm supposed to be getting answers from anybody, but it just make you wonder, just as a human being, why? Just why?
Yeah,
Shannon did
go
say
ahead.
on his, it says Shannon did say on his podcast that wish Julio Jones would have stayed playing for the Atlanta Falcons. I ain't gonna lie to you, Shannon can't say that. And now that's my personal opinion. Shannon can't say that. Why can't Shannon say that? Because, bro, you helped orchestrate it. You helped orchestrate all this, regardless of how that man was feeling. You brought it to the public light. Nobody else pulled out their cell phone. Nobody else dialed that phone number. Regardless, whether if it was a setup or not, you are at the center of it. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Julio should have stayed out of you.
Facts.
And that's disrespectful. That because that don't make no sense. That just sounds stupid. That don't even make any sense. Respectfully,
Yeah.
though. Respectfully.
But our boy RG ATL for life. Y'all know he killers. He bring us the breaking news. And he brings us the breaking news while we doing a live stream. He said the Falcons restricted free agent center Ryan Nuzil reached an agreement on a 2-year, $9.5 million deal that includes $6.25 million guaranteed. And I told y'all the other day it was going to be in that $6 million range. Per his agent Drew Rosenhaus and Kyle Lincoln. So we have our center for the future for the next 2 years at least. And again, you still got Javon Gwynn, you still got Joshua Gray on the team, so they're going to battle him for that center position. So 2 years, $9 million is not bad at all. If you break that down, that's 4.25 a year. 4.75 a year, and that's not much for a starting center. So yeah, so that's
you gotta remember he was undrafted. Like what? He went undrafted.
Right.
So it's just like, we bring him in and what I'm saying, he's gonna do we're gonna give him 2 years. But let's think about it though, Smitty. Keep it G. This is really a 1-year deal.
Yep.
So
because I'm pretty sure I got y'all know I'm gonna bring y'all the video as soon as the show is over. Try to break it down the best I can. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to look at the numbers on the deal because I'm gonna look at Sports Rec and look at
I'm pretty sure it's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and
probably
over
the
second
year probably got some upside for him or whatnot if he performs well. He maybe have like an incentive here and there. But so I'm happy that we do have at least the guy that has been working with Penix the most and Ryan Nuzil, have him signed up. But this also lets me know something. Hey, this is facts too, King Richie. But you also got to think about with the whole thing with Nuzil as well, that if this is like the deal that the way it's structured, I wonder if one of those undrafted free agents are going to make the team at center as well. And we're going to be seeing exactly what's going to happen. Training camp still is going to happen. So
because
I'm interested. I'm
that's
interested.
true. That's true because one of them have to make it because he got to have a backup. You
Right.
got to think about it. Drew Dorman was the starter
Especially if
last
they
year.
don't. Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Especially if
Go
they
ahead.
don't. No, I was about to say, especially they don't believe in Gwen. Like if Gwen is not getting it done, and if one of those guys are overshadowing him, so you got to think about that too. And
Right.
also, you got to think about this as well. If none of them working out, then
What's
guess
up,
what we
Christian?
doing in next year's draft?
Going after another interior offensive lineman.
Going after a center.
Miss Carey, what's good?
What's good, Kerry? How you feeling? Said, let's go New Zealand. Yeah, finally got him signed.
Hey,
Yes,
Miss
and it
Carey,
is
I'm
a
gonna
good
be
player.
honest with you. We did this show one time for the family. I was doing my head like this. I had no idea you about to, boy.
Man.
Miss Carey couldn't stop laughing. That was so funny, man. That
Oh
was
man, we
funny.
had a blast. We had an absolute blast that night. Yep, fairly. Yep, that's a fair price for a starting center. Yep, his first full season as a starter, and if he's not good, you can cut bait after a year. That's what I'm saying. It only costs us. It only costs you 6.5 mil. If he has,
6.25.
yeah, excuse
And
me,
that's the
6.5.
guaranteed money.
Yeah,
That's the
that's the
guaranteed
guarantee.
money. The base salary
And if
probably
he
have
balls,
that.
yep,
Yeah.
and if he balls, we resign him to a longer deal. And if he don't,
Right.
then guess what? Like I just said, we'll be drafting a center, or one of those other guys will be stepping in saying, "What's good?"
Authentic one. Yeah, we definitely gonna be investing our offensive line when we get our Kirk contract.
Oh
Absolutely,
yeah, you
absolutely
better
agree.
believe it. You better
New Zealand
believe that.
played well. We run the ball down Carolina's throat with him at center. Absolutely.
Yep,
And the
yep,
crazy thing about it, people don't never talk about it, but he left-handed. It's very,
yes.
very rare you get a left-handed center.
A left-handed center.
So
Yeah,
and a
that's a
left-handed
fact.
quarterback. So he should adjust very well. Christian said, I hope they open training camp up to the fans. I hope they do too. But I think last year, the reason why they didn't, and I'm gonna stick to this, they talk about construction. They just didn't want that problem
Right,
with with what was going on at quarterback. They really didn't want the media there, but they can't stop that. But if you have
right.
fans there, look, I'm telling you,
That
Tonio,
would
what's
be
good,
different.
my dude?
My thing is, bro, imagine us being at training camp, all as fans. We like, yeah, Kirko chains. We doing all this stuff. And the next thing you know, that guy with that do-rag run out there and throw one pass, and we're going to be like, huh?
Right.
For real, man.
Oh man.
That would have been terrible. That man
Oh
wouldn't have
boy.
made it to week one.
Look,
He wouldn't have
look,
not comfortable.
it would have been over. They would have been calling for pennies week one. And tell me I'm lying.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. Because again, you already had veterans saying, hey man, Michael Penix out here. Yeah. What y'all didn't see. It's just the things y'all didn't see. Y'all hearing some things, but it's the things y'all didn't see. So
What's up, Ron?
there. Boy, what's
Yeah,
good,
man.
Ron?
That's crazy, man. I mean, yeah, that would have been hell on wheels. I think they knew it too. They knew it.
Heck yeah.
Carrots, I literally couldn't hold in the laugh that caught me off guard. Hey man, look, Chris will tell you I'm the king at that.
We were
I will
having
say
such
something.
a wonderful time.
Man, I will say something I will say something stupid off beat real quick. That's what I look. I'm
No
telling
argument
you.
here.
Construction or not. Yeah, they didn't want us there. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it honest. Honestly, I don't even care if they watching this live. I'm gonna just keep it honest like I always do.
Man, Michael Penix would have came trotting out there through one pass, and everybody would have been like, Kirko, who? But like, hold on, now I'm conflicted. We'd have had so many conflicted Falcon fans out there, just chaos. Everybody arguing, going home. Why I like the kid? Why I like the Kurt? Yeah, it'd have been something else.
Yeah, I mean that's just how it is. But right quick, man, we got one more thing we're gonna talk about, then we're gonna roll, man. Kyle Pitts, Kirk Cousins wasn't at OTAs.
Right.
Kyle Pitts was at OTAs. He just wasn't on the field. He was in the gym working out, doing what he needed to do to get ready. But y'all got to remember, even though Uncle Lou, what's good, my dude?
Uncle Lou.
Hey, Uncle Lou, we did a live on nephew Tyler. And I'm gonna tell you why I got you on the live right now. It's no disrespect to Tyler Algier, and I think I told you this, Uncle Lou. I feel like Tyler should go get his money. I feel like he should go to be a number one running back in this league. And I love what he does, his pairing with Bijan. But we all know Bijan gonna get a bulk of the carries. Look how much his numbers dropped the last 2 years. Over 600 yards both of those seasons. And I feel like, I just feel like on another team, he could be a starting running back.
Hey man,
I could
I ain't
see
gonna
him in a
lie.
team like, and
I'm
honestly,
still a
I'm gonna
fan.
throw a team out there. And this is no disrespect to Falcon fans. Cincinnati Bengals with what they've got right now. They do have Chase Brown at running back, but I would take Tyler Algier
Change
over
the pace.
Chase Brown any day.
Oh
Then you
yeah,
got Joe
change the
Burrow,
pace.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and they still got weapons. So I respect that, man. I respect Tyler, man, as a talent. And the Falcons were losing for nothing. So if you get a good deal for him, move him. Because Bijan is the future. And like I said, at the running back position, um, it's one of those positions is replenishable. You can bring in
Right.
another guy. Like I said, even though we don't like to talk about them Shanahans, Mike Shanahan, the elder Shanahan in Denver,
Mhm.
he took a
Yeah,
6 runner
yeah,
to Notre
running
Dame and
backs.
made him out of a Hall of Famer. Just think about that.
Yeah, they
So
take them running backs for sure.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
I mean,
and it's more places that Tyler could go, but until that, we'll cross that bridge if that day comes. When that day comes,
yeah,
whatever it
it's
is.
just a thought, man. It's
Yeah,
just a
it
thought.
just and for me, so of course I'm always going to represent Tyler Algier. I'm still a big fan of his, and I believe that Bijan and Tyler this year, another year together, and what I'm
Right.
saying, being able to know each other's tendencies and everything, being each other's brothers and everything, I believe they're going to have an excellent season together. Seriously,
But as we were saying, this is what we were talking about. Thank you, Christy, for putting that
yeah,
in the chat. It said Kyle Pitts had a foot issue and he is in the building for OTAs, just not on the field. And that's from Jane Palmer TV, and it's not contract related. And honestly, he can't, and the reason why I believe that he ain't at the point right now where he can demand a contract. He
he
just got to
doesn't have
go
the
out and play.
leverage.
Yeah, he don't have the leverage. Other than that rookie Pro Bowl season, what else has he done? Yeah, he had the knee injury and he's recovered from it. But last year, can you really tell that he's recovered from it? Because at some points he's making business decisions. And when you got to make business decisions, sometimes you're not gonna give you all on certain plays. And that's anybody, not just him. That's anybody. But T. Terry, I agree. I can see him with Arthur
What's
Smith.
that?
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, he was there when he was drafted, so it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, other players have gone up to the Steelers and something like that, and then I know I've even said myself that I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons got desperate enough that they had to add if they were trading Kirk Cousins to the Steelers. If so maybe Tyler too.
Uncle
Oh
Uncle
yeah.
Lewis said,
Oh
"Hey, he ain't got nothing but love for you too, A1." He
oh
know
yeah,
he
man.
know he been rocking with us
Yeah,
for a long time, man. So Uncle Lou know where
yeah.
we coming from, man. And
Still,
if y'all
still
miss,
was wonderful meeting up with him out there in Las Vegas, man. So like,
hey
great
man, if
time.
you if y'all didn't see us on draft night, Uncle Lou stayed with us the whole night.
Yes,
So
he
we had
did.
a
Just
blast.
about.
Yeah, so he know how we roll. He know we ain't gonna say nothing malicious and attacking. We just try to give the people a sense of what's going on with the Falcons. And we
Right,
when you see something, you say something.
right.
One of the oldest saying, when you see something, you say something.
Yep,
So
that's it.
yeah, but
What you
yeah,
think
Kyle
about
Pitts,
Cal? So the Cal Pitts, you said that you believe
a
that it
foot
was
a foot
yeah,
issue. Yeah. It
yeah,
probably was. Like I said, you got to think about it. Once that knee get hurt, it throws everything out of whack. So at some point it's gonna be the ankle, some point it's gonna be the foot. Injury just happen. After one injury happens, it just piles on. Let's just keep it
right,
real. And like I said, I want to think about that's why I didn't even do no video on it. Because I know it couldn't
right,
have been the contract because he hadn't put up the numbers to garner, a new
right.
contract.
He
To
don't have
me,
no
to me,
leverage.
honestly, to me, 10.8 million is too much to be giving him after what he done did the last 2 years. And I'm just
Well,
being real.
and that's why this year is very important for Kyle. Not just Kyle, for the Falcons, period. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different storylines that we have going on. So at the end of the day, Kyle's going to have to go out there and just like Zach Robinson was saying, You got to go out there, get the playbook, get get the routes, everything like that. Nutrition's got to be a part of it. It's a bit availability definitely have to be a part of it. Troy Anderson and everything. So it's just like we got to make sure that he is worth the money. I mean, for lack of a softer term, you gotta make sure he's worth it. And so I'm expecting big things from Kyle Pitts. I really am, because I mean, 4th overall, I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see it again. Because
Right.
1,000-yard season, that was one thing, but of course, we didn't have as many weapons as we do now.
Yeah. ATL Focus said, what player y'all think gonna surprise a lot of people this season? I'll let you start that one off, because I think you had a way of looking at that a little bit earlier in the week. You give somebody, and I'll give somebody. Y'all in the chat, y'all can follow along as well.
So it's a player that's gonna be a surprise. I'm trying to think. See, because I feel like another breakout player is gonna be Caden Ellis, so I got that. But a player who's gonna be a surprise.
Ryan, what's good, man?
What it do, family?
Yeah.
I'm a. You know what? Darn it, I'm gonna go Ruka Roro.
That's a good one. Yeah, he got big shoes to fill. That's all I'm gonna say. He got big shoes to fill, taking over Greater Jared.
Make them boys say rut roll all day long. That's what I need you to do, Root. I'm talking about for real.
You stupid.
For real. I'm just saying, go after them, go get them.
I'm gonna stick to my guns, man, like I always do. I'm gonna say Xavier Watts, and the only reason why, and I've said this 1,000 times, you look at his versatility at the position, he's basically another Jesse Bates on the field. But the difference with him, he's a former linebacker. Yes, so he's not scared to stick his helmet in there and make tackles. He knows, how to read coverages. He knows how to read what's going on. He can play in the slot. He can play in the box. He can play zone. He can play single high. I'm going to say Xavier Watts. I think this kid is going to be a superstar. And this first season, early on, I think we're going to get to see it. I think he's going to, by the time we get to training camp, he's going to be lined up with the first team. I just see it. Because they got a first-round talent in the 3rd round. Just think about that. Because when we were doing mock drafts, I just kept seeing Xavier Watts back of the 1st, top of the 2nd, to the middle of the 2nd. He lasts all the way to damn near the 4th round, and the Falcons get him. So yeah, you get 3 first-round picks, and he's the 3rd. I think Xavier Watts is going to be that dude, man. He's going to be that dude. I seen another comment I wasn't too enthused about, so I got to address it.
What you got?
JR, he my guy and all, but he can be replaced. I'm gonna keep it real with you, JR. And the reason why I say he can be replaced, look at Brock Bowers last year in Las Vegas, a rookie, 100 catches, Pro Bowler. He was really the only weapon that the Raiders had last year. So why couldn't Kyle Pitts do that when he got to Atlanta? It's all about work ethic. It's all about the film room. It's all about working on your craft. If Kyle Pitts is working on his craft like he's supposed to, he would be leaps and bounds ahead of where he is right now. So all we got to do is get a guy in here that's willing to work on his craft, make himself better, make himself an elite talent player. Not saying they're going to be elite, but if they can get open, make key catches, be a red zone target, they've already done more than Kyle Pitts. Right. Just keep it real with you.
Hey man, remember there's some people that still miss Jonnu Smith. There's people out here still saying, "Well, we should have kept Jonnu." It's some people that said, "Man, we should have tried out McCole Pruitt."
Hey, so crazy thing about it, I said it on a video the other day.
Saying, man,
JD Bertrand, I can see that one too. Especially I saw a Falcon content creator say, he don't like people takes on Troy Anderson. Troy Anderson not trash. I know Troy Anderson not trash. I just don't feel like he's developed to where he needs to be at this point in his career. You got to think about it. He was a 2nd round pick, and that's not all on him, because last year the entire defense was set back by that trash play calling and what Jamie Lake was doing.
I'm talking
Not
about
only,
everybody regressed.
not only Troy Anderson, but look at Caden Ellis. Yeah, he had a damn good season. He could have been even better had he been put in the right position at certain points in the game. So it's all about scheming. And I think with these linebackers and Jeff Ulbrich being a linebacker, I just think he's going to make these linebackers the strength of the team again. Because just remember, just 5 years ago, Deion Jones and Foye Oluokun, they were the heart and soul of this defense at the
DeAndre
linebacker.
Campbell before he left.
Right. So
Just,
yeah, linebackers are key.
my thing is for Troy Anderson. I know for me, I've never talked about his ability because we've seen what he could be. It's just that availability.
Thank you, Miss Carey.
That's all it is. That's all it is. That availability. Can you be available so we can see more of it? Because if not, then I'm gonna have to stand where I am and being like, we could have took Nick Benito.
Hey, Ryan, I could definitely see that. That University of South Carolina tight end.
Yeah,
I could definitely see it. Definitely.
Whew. Pitts would be
JR, man. You know, it's all love my way, man. It just, to me, tight end and wide receiver and running back, those are positions that can easily be any skill position can easily be replaced. Now, cornerback may be a little different because it's one of the hardest positions on the field. But running back, tight end, and wide receiver, yeah, you can bring somebody out working at Starbucks and come in to play those positions. And that's just an analogy. It's nothing, serious. RJ ATS for life say he think Braylon Trice coming off ACL injury. I think he would aim to take someone starting spot as a pass rusher.
I can see coming off an injury. Hey, that'd be impressive.
Boy. Will Koo win the kicker role? That's yet to be seen. He looked like he did that hip injury and his new kicking style that equaled a disaster. And if Lenny Craig put forth that best leg, pun intended, Koo could be gone because you're talking about cutting off $4 million off the payroll. So Lenny Craig,
opinion is,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, dang, bro, Koo gonna lose. and I hate it. Cause bro, I hate it. Cause man, I like Young Way. I ain't gonna lie, I do.
Man.
But
he was a Pro Bowl kicker, man. But
in my heart, and in my mind, I hope he proved me wrong. I think Koo gone. I can
see it. Gone. Yeah, the way that dude kicked the ball, man, he kicked that ball like he was kicking somebody in the back of their ass, trying to get on his nerves and shit. But he kicked that 63-yarder with no problem. Probably would have hit from 67.
And like I say,
Troy Anderson spend more time at Piedmont than Flowery Branch. That's absolutely true.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Nobody rags about his ability. We want to see more of his ability. That's all. Ellis said Ulbrich is teaching them how to play linebacker in the truest form. He's never had a linebacker as a DC.
And I tell you all the time, that makes a difference. That makes a difference because think about it. He's not lying because Ryan, we always talk about Jerry Gray being the reason why this secondary is turning around.
Right.
So if we
talk about how it was the strength of the defense, period. Right. All them secondary guys we got, even with Raw.
Right. Yeah. Think about that. And Raw is a defensive back guy. So He said, can Koo kick a 65-yarder right now? He probably still can. But the way that hit was working last year, he was all off beat.
But he's asking, is he going to make it? That's what he's trying to figure out. He can probably kick the distance. Is he going to make it though, Smith?
But he's gonna make it, right? Yeah.
He said so. Koo is gone. Hey, I'm just saying, man. Hey, that's why I say, man, Koo gone, man. I really
you like got to be consistent. That's what it's about. He was one of the most consistent kickers for 3 years in a row. So once that consistency leaves, 9 times out of 10, that job gonna leave. And that's any job. You got to be consistent in what you do. JR said, I feel like we were better on paper last year until our coaching improves. It doesn't matter how much talent we have. That's absolutely true. Because as I said last year during the season, when whoever took over, whether Jerry Gray or Raheem Morris, that took over the defense for those 4 games, when we turned it around defensively, yeah, you're going to see more of that this year. So
Right,
if
definitely.
Jeff Ulbrich don't have his shit together, he gonna get the same treatment.
Yeah, and I think he will though. He
Yeah, I
knows
think.
how
Yeah,
big this season is, and then with everything that's happened, that's just already been distractions. I think it's more reason to lock in even deeper into the it's in the playbook, into the locker rooms, everything, just into football, man. Just take the complete skydive into nothing but football.
right. Absolutely true. But yeah, man, it's been another great show. We stayed about 15 minutes over than what we wanted to go, but hey, man, we stayed talk to y'all, give y'all our thoughts on y'all questions. We appreciate y'all dropping the questions. We appreciate y'all donations because look, I like chicken wings and I got to have money to buy them.
Oh goodness.
But Richie, before we go, Richie said, you see Jason Bates interview, he said Alvarez brought the linebacker out of him. That's a good
Yes,
thing. That's a
yes.
good thing.
Actually,
And that's
seen
what
that
you
earlier.
want. Right. You want coaches to bring the best out of you, something that you don't see in yourself. Because if you can add another element to your game, why not? But hey, it
Yeah.
is what it is. But you know what to do, man. Tell us where to find you.
Hey
Appreciate
man.
you, JR.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, hey man, A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. Please come over, like, comment, and subscribe. It is 9:09, and I hope you guys found your peace today because positive energy always creates elevation. And so we elevated on this right here. And speaking of, man, how I love how I also seen today Jake Matthews and how he's talking about Michael Penix, and also just how cool and his demeanor is. He's saying not too sure of himself, but he does have he has that confidence. He's radiating that confidence, that aura, and I love to hear saying from that veteran who has seen a lot of players come and go, and after Matt Ryan seen that revolving door. It's crazy how you go from one quarterback for your whole career to all of a sudden you now have 6 quarterbacks because you went through another 5. Lord have mercy. But either way,
They was over there playing duck, duck, goose.
bro, what you talking about? Hey man, but Twitter A1 Forever, Instagram A1 Forever, and of course the real A1 Forever on TikTok, man. Always, saying great having you guys in the chat. Always great doing shows with you, Smitty.
Yeah, man. And you see right now they got the new feature on StreamYard where y'all see yourself in the chat on the screen. So y'all
Yeah.
can't say we ignoring y'all because we see it. At times we just can't get to it because we discussing a topic and we getting deep into it, so we can't just stop and answer y'all question. But trust me, we see y'all, man, and we appreciate y'all coming through as always. But y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, at Fatboy Slim _21 on Twitter. I'm always blowing it up because that's what I do. Catch me during the season on NFC South Roundtable at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. We should be back in August, doing our thing. But until then, we're going to keep this train rolling. And like Birdcage said, we're going to keep it going, man, because that's what we do. We're gonna keep y'all with the latest and greatest news. Like I said, after I get done with this live, I'm heading straight back over to the other corner of the lab, and I'm gonna throw that video out for y'all about Ryan Nuzell signing the new deal because I know y'all want to know the specifics. Good, but
New deal, new zeal.
I think they did. They made the right move of getting a veteran center instead of getting one in the draft because he has. I ain't. Let me stop. I'm giving y'all the video already, and I ain't
I'm
even
about to
started
say, man, you gotta
recording.
wait, man. What you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
You know,
See, but when I get in the zone, I'm in the zone. You
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Everybody been following me know when I get in the zone, I'm in the zone. But again, man, look, we gonna catch y'all soon, man. And when another topic come up, guess what? Me and A1 gonna be on top of it for y'all.
Look at
Pause.
that.
But
Yeah.
as we sail into the night, as Chris and Alberto say, man, we're gonna give y'all Wednesday night back because we know it's been a long day and this rain has been driving me crazy. But we're gonna have y'all soon, man. Peace.